Let's go over the incredible history of Asia. First is Mesopotamia and the Near East, 4000 to 500 BCE. Sumer and Uruk. Uruk period created the first true cities in southern Mesopotamia. Science and engineering, irrigation canals, wheeled carts, sailboats, ziggurats. Math, base 60 system, geometry, calendars. Metallurgy, copper and bronze tools. Political systems, independent city-states ruled by priest-kings. Akkadian Empire. Akkadian Empire under Sargon of Akkad formed the first multinational empire. Imperial roads and bureaucracy, expanded accounting mathematics, bronze military equipment, centralized imperial administration. Babylon. Old Babylonian Empire became a center of astronomy and law. Science, canals, medicine, astronomy. Math, algebra and astronomical calculations. Metallurgy, bronze weapons. Politics, Code of Hammurabi. Assyria, military empire of northern Mesopotamia. Siege engines, roads, libraries. Advanced astronomical records. Iron weapons and armor. Provincial military empire. Elam and Persia. Elam linked Mesopotamia and Iran. Later, Persia dominated West Asia. Engineering, Connaught underground water systems, Royal Road. Math, taxation, accounting systems. Metallurgy, gold, silver, cavalry armor. Politics, satrap provinces, imperial bureaucracy, religious tolerance under Cyrus the Great. Anatolia and Levant. Hittites. Anatolian Empire in modern Turkey. Chariot warfare and fortifications. Early large-scale ironworking. Treaty diplomacy and vassal kingdoms. Phoenicia and Philistia. Levantine coastal cultures. Shipbuilding and Mediterranean navigation. Commercial bookkeeping. Iron tools and weapons. Independent trading city-states. Phoenicians spread the alphabet across the Mediterranean. Syria, Aramaeans. Trade kingdoms centered around Damascus. Caravan trade networks and irrigation. Iron working spread. Merchant monarchies. East Asia. China. Shang to Ming. China became East Asia's dominant civilization. Science engineering. Paper, compass, gunpowder, printing, Grand Canal. Math, negative numbers, algebra, decimal systems. Metallurgy, cast iron, steel furnaces. Politics, Confucian bureaucracy and civil service exams. Korea. Kingdoms of Goguryeo, Silla, Goryeo, Joseon. Metal movable type and astronomy. Calendrical mathematics. Iron armor and bronze works. Centralized Confucian monarchies. Japan. From Yamato rule to samurai shogunates. Castle construction and adapted Chinese technology. Calendar mathematics. Folded steel katana production. Feudal military government under shoguns. Steppe empires. Mongolia. Mongol Empire under Genghis Khan created the largest contiguous empire. Relay post communication systems. Census administration. Composite bows and cavalry metallurgy. Military meritocracy and protected Silk Road trade. Southeast Asia. Khmer Empire. Centered at Angkor in Cambodia. Massive reservoirs, canals, Angkor Wat. Hydraulic engineering and geometry. Bronze casting and iron tools. Divine kingship and centralized administration. Champa, Cham civilization. Maritime kingdom in Vietnam. Shipbuilding and irrigation. Trade mathematics. Bronze sculpture and weapons. Port City Federation linked to Indian Ocean trade. Ottoman rise 1300 to 1500 CE. Ottoman Turks. Ottoman Empire rose in Anatolia after Byzantine decline.
gunpowder artillery and mosque architecture, military engineering and taxation systems, cannon founding and steel weaponry, sultanate with janissaries and provincial governance.
African inventions and achievements at a glance. Africa produced the oldest math objects, art, metal casting, an invention of fractal geometry, Sona sand algorithmic math, the mathematical Mancala game of combinatorics and game theory systems, and practical geometry. Also, some of the oldest astronomy observatories, brilliant hydrology systems, architectural mortarless engineering, and planned urban cities, e.g. Benin City, which used specific geometric planning and hydro systems to push cool air into houses. African empires created many multi-story houses and palaces, from Ashanti buildings, which had plumbing, as did Benin City, to the Great Zimbabwe Stone City, to Bamum Kingdom houses, to Mali Empire Sudano-Sahelian castles, to Aksumite Empire palaces, etc. Africa produced the oldest monarchy on Earth, Ta-Seti, Nilo-Saharan African Kingdom, 3800 BCE, which influenced and predated Pharaonic Egypt in modern-day Sudan, called the Land of the Blacks by Arabs. Sudan equals black in Arabic, and produced some of the oldest cities on Earth from 3000 to 2500 BCE, Kerma, Dukigel, Hierakonpolis, Axum, Dar-Tachit, Timbuktu, Kano, Benin City, Congo City, Great Zimbabwe, Meso, Hassau city-states, Kilwa city-states, and many more as the map shows. Also, there's glass bead invention, Nigeria, Kush, and Odu-Ifa binary math code system, Nigeria, inventions. Ancient scientists who are associated with C-section mastery, inoculation usage, mastery of herbal medicine, and Dogon astronomy, which developed advanced systems that could quickly integrate European knowledge about the Sirius system into their urban planning, objects, rituals, etc. Africa produced one of the oldest universities, Sankore University, and libraries on Earth, and a center of learning in Timbuktu, with Ahmad Baba, the self-proclaimed Black Berber, and Muhammad Bagayogo, the Mande scholar, as leaders. Africans in Mali produced highly advanced astronomy works as well. Africa produced the richest man emperor in history, Mansa Musa, and many other famous emperors who built lasting empires and powerful political entities. Mali and Ashanti produced some of the world's first constitutions, too. Then there's ancient surgery, including invasive brain techniques, Egypt and Kush, and wound care. Antibiotic beer invention and brewing, Egypt and Kush invention, Pythagorean theorem invention and usage by Egypt and Kush, Nubia, etc. African mastery of iron ore, iron smelting, and steel production was hundreds of years before most of the world, via Haya ethnic group, Nok, Kush, Mali, and many more. Africa produced sophisticated philosophy systems, such as with the Socrates of Africa, Chief Malomi. The continent of Africa was home to roughly 500 civilizations, societies, kingdoms, and empires, and produced some of the oldest boats on Earth, such as the Dufuna canoe and East African ships that were used to sail the Indian Ocean for trade with Asia. Some of the richest trade networks on Earth, such as the Trans-Saharan Salt Gold Network and East African Asian Trade Network from Great Zimbabwe City, Kilwa City, Aksum, to India, China, etc. Africa also hosted some of the most brilliant military minds, from Hannibal Barca to Shaka Zulu to Sunni Ali to Idris Aloma to Queen Amani Renas to Chengamir Dombo, etc. Many African empires fell to colonists after 2 war attempts, only due to more brutal weapons, i.e. guns, and disease that plagued cavalry animals, like the tsetse fly. Africa produced the most efficient long-range communication tool in the talking drum auditory code and information encoding system, and used ancient Braille via Lukasa memory boards that acted like ancient record-keeping systems. The continent produced some of the longest-lasting empires, such as Kanem-Bornu, which had armored knights, which lasted over 1,000 years. Africa also innovated constantly. Ashanti Empire medics deployed in war were some of the first military units to aid wounded soldiers. When it comes to writing, Africa produced proto-writing scripts like Adinkra and Misibidi, record-keeping systems like Lukasa boards, scripts like Jayas and Meroitic, among others.
Lastly, the Benin Empire produced the Walls of Benin, which at one point rivaled the Great Wall of China until European colonists destroyed it.
Indus Valley Civilization, circa 3300 to 1300 BCE. Location? Primarily the Indus River Basin, modern-day Pakistan and northwest India. Leaders? Likely a decentralized system of priest-kings or merchant councils. No specific names are recorded. Engineering? First use of a grid-based urban plan, sophisticated underground drainage systems. Architecture? Massive granaries and the Great Bath of Mohenjo-Daro, utilizing bitumen for waterproofing. Math? Development of precise ratios for brickmaking, 4 to 2 to 1, and standardized weights and measures. Metallurgy? Early bronze casting using the lost wax technique, aka the dancing girl statue. Art? Intricate steatite seals featuring the Pashupati, Proto-Shiva, and various animals. Influence? Traded extensively with Mesopotamia, Sumerians. Indus beads have been found in Ur and Kish. 2. Vedic period and Mahajanapadas, circa 1500 to 500 BCE. Location? The Indo-Gangetic Plain, north and central India. Leaders? Tribal chieftains, rajas, evolving into kings like Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, Magadha. Political science/military? Emergence of the Ghana Sangas, early republics, and the concept of Chakravartin, universal ruler. Math? The Sulba Sutras contain the earliest expressions of the Pythagorean theorem for altar construction. Metallurgy? The Iron Age transition, development of high-carbon steel in South India. Art/literature? Oral composition of the Vedas and Upanishads, foundational to global philosophy. Influence? Spread of Vedic philosophy into Central Asia via migration and trade routes. 3. Mauryan Empire, circa 322 to 185 BCE. Location? Encompassed almost the entire subcontinent, except the far south, centered at Pataliputra, modern Patna. Leaders: Chandragupta Maurya, Bindusara, Ashoka the Great. Political science: Chanakya's Arthashastra, one of the world's first treatises on statecraft, espionage, and economic policy. Architecture: massive stone pillars, Ashoka pillars, with mirror-like polish. The Great Stupa at Sanchi. Military: deployment of massive war elephant corps that terrified Hellenistic armies. Art: the lion capital of Ashoka, now India's national emblem. Influence: Ashoka's Buddhist missions reached Greece, Egypt, Sri Lanka, and Southeast Asia. 4. The Golden Age, Gupta and Classical Era, circa 319 to 550 CE. Location: North and Central India. Leaders: Chandragupta I, Samudragupta, Chandragupta II, Vikramaditya. Math: Aryabhata calculated pi to 4 decimal places and formalized the concept of zero and the decimal system. Science: postulation that the Earth rotates on its axis and orbits the Sun. Gravity was hinted at as a force. Medicine: Sushruta, the father of surgery, detailed rhinoplasty and cataract surgery in the Sushruta Samhita. Architecture: transition from rock-cut caves, Ajanta Ellora, to freestanding Hindu temples. Metallurgy: the iron pillar of Delhi, which has remained rust-free for over 1,600 years due to advanced phosphorus content. Influence: the Indianized kingdoms of Southeast Asia, Angkor Wat, Borobudur, were born from this era's cultural exports. 5. Medieval powerhouses, Chola and Vijayanagara, c. 300 BCE to 1646 CE. Location: Southern India, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, with maritime reach to Indonesia. Leaders: Rajaraja Chola I, Rajendra Chola I, Krishnadevaraya. Military, naval. The Cholas possessed the world's most powerful navy of the time, turning the Bay of Bengal into a Chola lake. Architecture: the Brihadishwara Temple, the first all-granite temple, with a 66-meter-high tower, Vimana. Metallurgy: mastery of bronze casting, specifically the iconic Nataraja, dancing Shiva, statues. Engineering: massive irrigation tanks, and the Grand Anicut, one of the oldest water regulation structures still in use. Influence. Heavy influence on the languages, religions, and administrative styles of Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand. 6. The Mughal Empire, c. 1526 to 1857. Location. Almost all of South Asia, centered in Delhi and Agra. Leaders. Babur, Akbar, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. Architecture. The Indo-Islamic style, culminating in the Taj Mahal, Humayun's tomb, and the Red Fort. Use of pietra dura, stone inlay. Military. Evolution of gunpowder warfare in India. The use of rocket artillery, later refined by Tipu Sultan. Art. Mughal miniature painting, blending Persian, Indian, and European techniques. Political science. Akbar's Mansabdari system, a unique administrative and military grading system. Metallurgy. Mastery of Wootz steel, Damascus steel, highly sought after by Crusaders and Central Asians for its edge retention. Influence. India became the world's largest economy, approximately 25% of global GDP, during this time, fueling the global demand for textiles and spices that eventually drew Europeans to Indian shores. Summary of global influence. To Eurasia. The decimal system and Arabic numerals, actually Indian. Buddhism and advanced steel. To Africa. Maritime trade routes linked the Chola and Gujarati merchants to the Swahili coast, Zanzibar, Kilwa, exchanging spices and textiles for gold and ivory. European history, along with Mesoamerican and Andean history, is one of the most fascinating histories on Earth. Let's dive into the history of Meso-Europe. Part 1. European History, 2000 BCE to 2000 CE. 1. Bronze Age Europe, 2000 BCE to 1200 BCE. 1. Minoan Civilization, Crete, c. 2000 to 1450 BCE. Overview. The Minoans were the first advanced urban civilization in Europe, centered on the island of Crete in the eastern Mediterranean. Major achievements. Built large palace complexes such as Knossos, Phaistos, and Malia. Developed advanced plumbing and drainage systems. Created vibrant fresco art and maritime trade networks. Became dominant naval traders across the eastern Mediterranean. Used the script known as Linear A. Produced high-quality pottery, jewelry, and metalwork. Influence. The Minoans heavily influenced the later Mycenaean Greeks and contributed to the foundations of Greek mythology. 2. Mycenaean Civilization, mainland Greece, c. 1600 to 1100 BCE. Overview. The Mycenaeans were warrior kings who dominated mainland Greece during the Late Bronze Age. Major achievements. Built fortified citadels such as Mycenae and Tiryns. Developed Linear B, the earliest known form of written Greek. Expanded long-distance trade and warfare across the Mediterranean. Inspired many legends later recorded in Homer's Iliad and Odyssey. Organized palace-centered bureaucratic states. Influence. The Mycenaeans transmitted Greek language and heroic traditions into later Greek civilization. 3. Bronze Age Central and Northern Europe. Overview. Outside the Mediterranean, Europe consisted of tribal cultures connected by trade routes. Major achievements. Spread bronze metallurgy across Europe. Developed long-distance amber and tin trade networks. Constructed monumental burial mounds and ritual sites. Advanced wheeled transport and horse domestication. After the collapse of Mycenaean civilization, Greece fragmented before re-emerging into city-states. Major achievements. Formation of independent city-states, polis. Development of the Greek alphabet. Growth of philosophy, poetry, and athletics. Colonization across the Mediterranean and Black Sea. Emergence of hoplite warfare. Celtic Europe, c. 800 BCE to 100 CE. Overview. The Celts spread across much of Western and Central Europe. Major achievements: sophisticated ironworking, complex tribal confederations, distinctive art styles with geometric motifs, long-distance trade from Iberia to Anatolia. Classical Greece and Hellenistic civilization, 500 BCE to 146 BCE. 7. Classical Greece. Major city-states: Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Thebes. Major achievements: philosophy, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle. Science and mathematics: Euclid's geometry, Archimedes' engineering and mathematics, Hippocratic medicine, early astronomy and natural philosophy. Politics: development of democracy in Athens, concepts of citizenship and constitutional debate. Arts and architecture: Parthenon, classical sculpture, Greek theater and tragedy. Military: hoplite phalanx, naval warfare innovations. Macedonian and Hellenistic world, 336 to 30 BCE. Overview. Alexander the Great conquered a vast empire, from Greece to India. Major achievements: spread Greek language and culture across Eurasia. Founded cities such as Alexandria. Advanced scientific scholarship in Egypt and the Eastern Mediterranean. Encouraged cultural blending between Greeks and local populations. Important figures: Alexander the Great, Ptolemy, who created the Ptolemaic model based on Egyptian and Babylonian math systems. Seleucus. 4. Roman civilization, 753 BCE to 476 CE in the West. 9. Roman Republic, 509 to 27 BCE. Major achievements: development of republican institutions, expansion across Italy and the Mediterranean, construction of roads, aqueducts, and military infrastructure, codification of Roman law. Military achievements: highly disciplined legions, large-scale engineering during warfare, defeat of Carthage in the Punic Wars. 10. Roman Empire, 27 BCE to 476 CE West. Major achievements: engineering, aqueducts, concrete architecture, massive road networks, amphitheaters and public baths. Law and governance: Roman legal tradition, provincial administration, citizenship expansion. Culture: Latin literature, historical writing, spread of Christianity. Economy: Mediterranean-wide trade system, standardized coinage. Important emperors: Augustus, Trajan, Hadrian, Marcus Aurelius, Constantine. After this era came the Germanic tribes, ironwork, Viking era and shipbuilding, the European Dark Ages, and after the Islamic Golden Age sparked renewed and restored knowledge in Europe, the Renaissance, along with kingdoms like Franks, Visigoths, Ostrogoths, Lombards, Anglo-Saxons, England, France, Holy Roman Empire, Poland, Hungary, Kievan Rus. Mesoamerica and the Andes, 1600 BCE to modern era. While Europe focused on the sea, these civilizations mastered high-altitude agriculture and complex astronomical calendars in relative isolation. 1. The formative foundations, 1600 BCE to 200 CE. The Olmecs, Mesoamerica, known as the Mother Culture. Achievements: colossal stone heads, the first ritual ball games, and the early concept of the zero. Chavan culture, Andes, the Mother Culture of the Andes. Achievements: advanced drainage systems and intricate stone carvings of feline deities. 2. The Classic period, 200 CE to 900 CE. The Maya, masters of the rainforest. Achievements: a highly accurate 365-day calendar, complex hieroglyphic writing, and sophisticated mathematics. Teotihuacan, a massive planned city in central Mexico. Achievements: the Pyramid of the Sun and a grid-based urban layout. Moche and Nazca, Andes. Achievements: the famous Nazca lines, geoglyphs, and hyper-realistic ceramic portrait vessels. 3. The post-classic and imperial peaks, 900 CE to 1530 CE. The Aztecs, Mexico, built the island city of Tenochtitlan. Achievements, chinampas, floating gardens, and a mandatory public education system. The Inca, Andes, the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. Achievements, quipu, string-based record-keeping, massive terraced farming, and the 25,000-mile Kapaknyan road system.